They say a camel is nothing more than a horse designed by committee. That definition immediately came to mind after watching the Minecraft movie. It's exactly what happens when a group of people with apparently no creative impulses are tasked with creating a generic adventure comedy to capitalize on the growing trend of video game adaptations and exploit a popular intellectual property they only know superficially, while trying to check as many corporate boxes as possible. What results is an absolutely forgettable film that amounts to nothing more than a 2-hour commercial for the game. Starring bored-looking actors who probably spent 90% of filming in a green room without knowing what they were supposed to be reacting to. Loaded with unfunny jokes, too many characters who serve no purpose, and the most paper-thin excuse for a plot I've seen since Borderlands. Minecraft represents where filmmaking and imagination go to die. The logical endpoint of lazy Hollywood executives exploiting intellectual properties driven entirely by numbers and statistics. A film made purely out of necessity, with nothing resembling passion or interest from anyone involved. The movie ostensibly stars Jack Black as Steve, a guy who quits his dead-end job to mine for treasure and adventure. Or wait, actually it stars Jason Momoa as Garrett, a washed-up 80s video game protege. No, actually it stars Sebastian Hansen as some kid who moves to a new town with his sister and discovers a portal to another world. The script appears genuinely confused about who the main character is supposed to be. Conventional wisdom would suggest Steve since he's the game's protagonist, but apparently the studio realized no one under 30 knows or cares about Jack Black anymore. So they brought in Jason Momoa, who's younger and cooler, to play a big, beefy jock character. Then some corporate suit decided the movie would test better with children if they had a kid as the main character. So Henry was written in with no particular arc or personality. Finally, the diversity officer decided they needed more representation, so they threw in a random character who has absolutely no reason to be there and contributes nothing to the story. Steve discovers a magical crystal that opens a portal to Minecraft's world, but accidentally finds an evil underworld inhabited by an army of evil pigs who imprison him. He gives the crystal to his dog, who escapes back to the real world and hides it. The crystal eventually reaches Garrett, who tries to sell it in his video game store before Henry takes it and uses it to cross into Minecraft too. Somehow Garrett, Henry's sister, and a random additional character also get pulled in. The crystal gets damaged, so they need a replacement. The evil pig queen wants it to take over the world, so she releases Steve on the promise he'll retrieve it. Naturally, Steve immediately betrays her and joins the gang, and together they work to defeat the evil pig army, open the portal back to the real world, and go home. This isn't a rushed summary. Basically, nothing happens in this movie. It's the same template you've seen in countless other films, doing absolutely nothing new or unexpected. There's a half-hearted attempt to emulate the Lego movie's moral messaging about chaotic creativity versus crushing conformity, but it's so loosely explored and easily forgotten that it never makes an impression. The evil pig queen is by far the weakest villain I've seen in a film like this, voiced by an actress who sounds like she's reading lines off a teleprompter, with no understanding of context or meaning. Jack Black plays his usual loud, shouty, obnoxious character, trying so hard to be funny you can practically see him sweating with effort. The rest of the cast is mostly forgettable. Henry makes no impression as the protagonist. His sister isn't developed enough to care about, and while the additional character isn't as annoying as the trailer suggests, she really has no reason to be there. Jason Momoa is the film's only positive, if you can call it that. What few laughs there are come mostly from him, and although he doesn't look like he wants to be there, he has enough charisma and comic timing to occasionally crack a smile. If you have really young kids who are big fans of the game and not inclined to think too deeply about what's happening, there's probably just enough here to keep them entertained. But anyone with a mental age in double digits will absolutely struggle with this one. The ironic thing is that none of this matters. Minecraft is such a massive IP that this film will probably rake in $1 billion, and nobody will remember it 5 minutes after it leaves theaters. It's the epitome of corporate filmmaking, a product manufactured rather than created, designed to extract maximum profit with minimum effort or creativity.